Hello. Today we have Jason Carroll with Paylocity. Welcome to Network in Action, Jason.
Thank you. Appreciate it being here.
Yeah, we're super excited to have you and Paylocity join the business community. And so I want to just ask you a couple questions today. First off, can you share with us what inspired you to start your journey with Paylocity, and how has that initial inspiration maybe changed over time?
Yeah, great question. So let's see, spring of 2016, I was working for a one of the largest marketing companies, and when I had first started there in 2012, the culture was amazing, young, vibrant, up and coming. And by 2016, I think you would pull 10 out of 10 employees, and people just were unhappy with where the direction the company had gone. So I started looking, and I had 3 different payroll vendors reach out to me on my resume. And I still remember to this day, my wife actually had gone to Glassdoor and was researching them.
Mm.
And she sent me an email with a link to Glassdoor for Paylocity. And she says, "Oh my gosh, look at what the employees are saying about this company. You should go research it." So I did my research. At the time, they were rated in the top 10 for best places to work for. And the CEO was actually ranked in the top 10 as well for best CEOs. And I tell you, from the moment that I interviewed to through the process of becoming hired, knowing I was coming to a tech forward company, all the way through the onboarding process I did on my cell phone, um, to actually going to training and then back to our kickoff. I tell you what, it was like an Amway convention in there. Everyone was just so happy to be there, that the culture was infectious. And I just knew from day one that I had made the right decision for my career moving forward.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. So I know that in your role you get to help a lot of business owners on a lot of businesses and lots of solutions. Can you share with us a specific big business challenge that you've helped a client overcome and how you guys did it?
Typically, there's a challenge in anyone that I work with. That nothing is ever as easy as they want it to be. One that comes to mind, it was about 100 employee company, but they had a system. I won't name the name, but they handled their payroll, but they had to do it themselves manually. They had to file their taxes manually. They had to pay state unemployment manually themselves. They had to administrate all of their health benefits, everything by themselves. They used another system for timekeeping. They used another system to try to recruit employees. They used another system for trying to track analytics. They ended up using 5 different systems to try to accomplish their day-to-day tasks from payroll and HR. So different logins, different, each one had a cost to it.
Mhm.
And I came in, we did an initial evaluation that took 30 minutes. I asked them, what they liked about each program, what were some of the challenges, and then if there were service issues with each one of them, they had to call those independent service agencies, that were
Mhm.
handling the accounts. So it was just an administrative nightmare. And when I sat down and I explained to them how an all-in-one platform like Paylocity took those 5 different systems and combined them into one, so that all of the data was flowing in between all of the different things, time and attendance, recruiting, onboarding, benefits. It was all in one platform with one, I call it one throat to choke. You have service problems, you come to Paylocity. You don't have to call all these different places. And oh, by the way, I saved them $20,000 annually by
Oh
combining
yeah.
all of these disparate
Yeah.
systems into one. And it streamlined the entire process, because
Yeah.
all of the systems we're talking to, it was all one platform, so all the data was in one spot, and it completely transformed the payroll and HR department, made them more efficient, and then they were able to grow from there because they could get back to doing what they do best, and that's basically servicing the company itself.
Right. Well, you bring up a good point too. You talk about administrative nightmare, but it's also like an employee experience nightmare. I have been an employee that had to have multiple logins. I actually had to like take notes, like what each system was for. And And it was awful to have multiple logins and be confused. And then also as a leader, getting all the questions from staff like, oh, I went into that system. So from an employee experience, I'm sure that gets boosted as well.
I
So
met with another challenge I had is one company. I'll do one more quick story.
yeah.
I was in a meeting with them and I looked at the HR director and I said, how much does it cost you to replace an employee? And he said it costs them upwards of $50,000 to replace one employee. And I asked him, I said, well, what's your turnover rate? And he didn't know. He had no idea. He had no way of knowing where his turnover was at. And I
Mm,
said, how many do you hire on a given month? Let's go with that route. And he said, sometimes we have to replace upwards of 10 to 15 employees a month. And I said, what if I could reduce your turnover by one? Just one person, because now they have some, maybe greater technology. Maybe you're able to track certain things like the employee sentiment. Like, are they happy with their job? You're giving a poll, whatever it is that Paylocity can
mhm,
offer. What if I saved one? I saved
right.
you $50,000.
$50,000, right.
They've been a client for 4.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome. So I know we often measure things with financial metrics, but I want to talk to you a little bit about how you measure success in your business beyond just financial metrics.
that's an easy one. And I tell this to every client that I have. I don't view myself as a salesperson. I am a citizen of my community. I represent a fantastic business. I measure success by the tenure that someone continues to work with me.
Mm,
And in 7 years, I've lost three. Two because they were bought by a larger company and they had to move to their system. And then one recently that had new leadership and they came in. So what really I measure my metrics is when I look at my current client list and it continues to grow and people trust that not only am I providing them a great product, but I'm also able to be there from a service perspective and they trust me moving
right.
forward. That's how I measure my success. Or I go to a football game and I see one of my clients and they're, hollering from the aisles over, Jason,
Mhm,
waving to me because again, I see myself more as just a person in the community, someone that's going to frequent their business potentially. That's all I am. I'm just here to help and make sure that the business themselves is being taken care of.
yeah, I love that. So that kind of leads right into what makes working with you, Jason Carroll, special or different.
Yeah, and again, I mean, I I'll put it this way: there's 6 pillars of buying: vendor viability, the product, vendor service. There's really 6 pillars that you can consider when trying to identify a whatever you want to buy. I claim that there's 7 because no one ever mentions who's handling their account, who's your rep. My competitors don't have anyone that they are compensated by making sure that their clients are taken care of. I am.
Mm-hmm.
And as I mentioned before, all my clients know that when you have a service issue, yeah, you get a dedicated person that can handle your account and you can call them and get them on the phone within 45 seconds. No other company can do that. Paylocity does. But when they send an email through the system, through their service person and CC me on it, they know that I'm on the case. It's
Mm-hmm.
not
You're
going to
going to get it
go
handled.
through email spam or into someone's inbox that's, maybe got 10 other emails there and it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. Doesn't happen with me. Because I
The buck
follow up with
stops here.
yeah, the buck stops here. I follow up with their manager,
Yeah.
make sure the manager talks to that it handles and it's handled within 2 hours.
I love
So
it.
that is the difference. If you go to one of my competitors, you might get a call center somewhere out of the country potentially. You might have to be put on hold for hours. Who knows? I mean, I'm working with one right now. They sent in a ticket 2 weeks ago for a payroll issue. I haven't heard back yet. I'm the difference. And that's what this person asked me. She goes, what's the difference between this company and you? And I said, you just said it. It's me. And I
Yeah.
hate, and that's not to be conceited. I'm not saying it's,
Yeah.
hey, you know, it's me.
Well, it's
It's
good to
just
know
a
what you're
difference
good
in
at, right?
philosophy.
It's good to know
Mhm.
what you're good at and to shout it from the rooftops. So good for
Yeah.
you. We're super excited to have you as part of our business community. Welcome to Network in Action, Jason.
Yeah. Thanks again. I really appreciate being here. And I'm just looking forward to meeting all the folks who could potentially have some needs.
Yes.